I'm going to share with you how I decorate my peacock themed Christmas tree. Now, I haven't actually done this Christmas tree in a couple of years because I needed to purchase a new tree, and well, I finally did. I purchased a Balsam Hill tree, the 9-foot cathedral tree with the micro lights. And so this is going to be my first time doing this theme on this tree, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get into the video, for those of you that are new to my channel, hi, my name is Catherine, and I absolutely love decorating for the holidays and sharing that here on YouTube. I also love to throw in a little bit of fashion and beauty, so if you happen to love any or maybe all of those topics, then I hope you'll consider subscribing. But let's go ahead and get started with the first step. So we need to start with setting up the tree, and typically this is where I would add lights to the tree. Even if it's pre-lit, I like to add twinkle lights. However, I'm not going to do that on this tree because I have a different type of light that I'm going to add a little later on. But I still do need to add something as I'm setting up the tree, and that's going to be to add this fabric mesh. It's similar to a deco mesh, except it's a lot softer and more pliable, and one of the things that I love to run on the inside of trees when I want to keep the eye from being able to see through them. So I actually use the same tree for my master bedroom tree that I do in a blue and white theme, and therefore I know because it's so tall and thin, it is easy to see through the tree, and so it's just enhanced a little bit if you run something in the middle of the tree as you're setting it up. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically starting at the bottom of the tree, and I'm working my way from the bottom up by splaying out the branches, so I'm really spreading them out. And basically layer by layer, I'm taking this fabric mesh and I'm just running it a little bit on the inside so that it's going to block the eye from being able to see through. Then I move on to the next layer as I work my way all the way up to the top of the tree. Now that the tree's set up, we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be to partially put together the tree topper. So when I say partially, I'm only going to do the first part of it, then I'm going to stop to move on to another piece, which I'll explain why when I get there, and then we'll come back and finish it. So the part that I'm going to start with is the stuff that's going to come kind of up and out of the tree. So for that, I'm going to use 3 different stems. So I've got this long stem, which will kind of hang down and give me a cascading effect. I've got something that mimics a peacock feather that's kind of long, and then I've got a shorter peacock feather which actually has kind of the eye of the feather in it. So I'm going to use these 3 things up at the top, and I'm going to attach them with pipe cleaners. And the reason I like to do this type of tree topper is it's a great way to add extra height to your tree. I'm going to take a pause on the tree topper for now, although I do have more of the peacock feathers, and I certainly don't have this spaced and fluffed the way I want yet, but I'm going to take a pause because I need to do some more work up there, and so I'm not going to bother perfecting until I've got everything else up there. But the reason that I want to take a pause is I now want to take the time to place on those additional lights that I mentioned earlier. And for this, I'm going to use this really cool light that kind of is like a spray that then hangs down in a bunch of individual strands. And these are LED lights. They have different settings, so you can set them to constant, you can set them to flashing, twinkle, etc. But how I'm going to use these is twofold. First, I'm going to reserve a couple of strands from one of them that I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to actually weave that up to my tree topper so I can add a little bit more light up in my tree topper. Right now it's very heavy and dark, and I don't want it to be darker than the rest of the tree, so I'm going to do that with a couple of the strands. But the rest of them, I'm going to actually kind of bring them down and fan them out to make it look a little bit like a peacock tail. So I actually have 2 different peacocks that I'm going to put on the tree, and so I want to take the time now to figure out exactly the best spacing for these, because this is kind of the showpiece of the tree, exactly the best spacing so that I can tentatively place these where they're going to go, and then start these lights that are going to kind of represent the tail right at the base of that peacock, and then weave its way around. And so this is just easier to do when I don't have anything else on the tree, to make sure that I don't have anything getting in the way of where I want it to go. And to get ready to place these on the tree, basically what I'm doing with the lights is I'm taking the end that actually plugs in and I'm just weaving that down the middle next to the stem of the tree down to the bottom where I have an extension cord with plenty of outlets to be able to plug these in. And then for the other one, I'll place it somewhere on the other side, maybe starting a little bit lower down, just so I have a little bit different spacing for both of these sets of lights that I'm going to use to create the tails. Now that we have our peacock tail feather lights on, I want to finish the top of the tree because I want to just make sure that I get that kind of balanced out so I know where everything else for the rest of the tree needs to start. Plus, it's just kind of driving me crazy that it's not really finished. So what I'm going to do to finish out the tree is go ahead and weave these couple of strands that I left out up in there. I'm going to add 3 of these bows that I've made, and I do have a video on how to make your own bows that I will link in the description box below, but I'm going to run these around the bottom of tree topper itself, and then I will fluff and add any additional feathers that I need up there to just get the spacing and the fullness that I want. Now I've got the tree topper pretty well finished. I'm sure I'll tweak it by the time I get to the end because I'm sure as I bump the tree, things will move and shift just a little bit, but it's pretty close. I do just want to point out, as much as I love these LED lights, they are a pain to work with because they get tangled up in everything, including their own strands. But that's beside the point. We're now ready to move on to the next step, which is going to be adding more of the filler types of items to the tree. So for this tree, I don't actually add a lot of filler stuff, but I do have 2 different things I'm going to add. So one are these picks that carry both the main colors of the tree, which of course are the chartreuse and then this kind of teal color. And all these are 2 different picks that you can find at most craft type stores. It's the 2 different ones that I've just kind of run together, and then because these are on wires, I've just kind of twirled them around each other so they look like they're really one piece, but really they're 2 different things that I was able to find exactly the colors I wanted to be able to blend them together. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is find any places where I feel like there's a bit of a gap, and I'm going to plug it with these simple loop bows. So I have 2 loops and 3 loops, and these are really, really easy. Basically all I've done is create the loops and then just tie it with the twist tie, and then I'm just going to stick those in. And the other nice thing about using these bows is it does bring the ribbon that's in the bows at the top of the tree down into the rest of the tree, so it all feels a little bit more integrated. And the other thing that I can use the bows for is also to hide anything that I don't want to see. For instance, any stems from the tree topper or wires or things that just aren't as hidden as I might like. Now that I've put on the filler picks and bows, I'm going to move on to filler ornaments. And so for this, I just have a set of chartreuse green balls that came in a shiny matte and a glitter. And these are, just about 48 balls or something. And I'm going to put these on the tree. And how I'm going to do this, because these are filler, these are inexpensive, not great quality, they look fine, but really the point of them is to stick them kind of on the inside, once again to add a little bit of depth to the tree, to help block the eye from being able to see through. But I'm going to focus those on the inside to leave the outside free for some of my more specialty ornaments. Now we're really starting to look like a Christmas tree. So we're going to move on now to the next type of ornaments, which are going to continue to be balls for this tree, but they're a little bit prettier balls, but I still have, say, sets of 4 or sets of 8 of them. So some of them are decorated, some of them have rhinestones, some of them are marbled, glitter, etc. So I'm just gonna go around the tree putting these on. I am gonna do it type by type to make sure that I'm interspersing evenly throughout the tree. Now we're going to move on to putting on our really special ornaments, or kind of the one-of-a-kind ones. And before I get any further, I am going to go ahead and place my 2 peacocks in where I've got the kind of start of their tail lights going. So I will put those on, and then I will move on to my other specialty ornaments. And these are, various shapes and sizes and even a little bit colors. They mostly stick to the chartreuse and teal, but they do bring in some other colors because, peacocks do have a little bit of additional variation to them. You will notice on ornaments that have built-in hangers that I'm actually using those to hang from the tree. And then because I want the top of the ornament to hug as closely to the branch as possible, what I'm doing is I'm hanging it, but then I'm pinching that string hanger and then I'm wrapping around so that the ornament hangs right up under the branch. The last thing that's going to go on the tree maybe are these garland that have kind of the loose little tentacles. While I've used these on the peacock tree in the past, I wasn't sure if I wanted to use them on this one, so I'm going to see if I can kind of wind this around the tree in a way that I like, and if so, then I will use these. If not, then I'll take them off and we'll call this part of the tree done. Have we just gilded the lily? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, yay or nay. I'm gonna leave them on for now, but I wanna hear from y'all when I do this next year. Should I use these again or not? All right, we are on to the final step. And I know what you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, do not put anything else on the tree. I'm not. The final step is actually decorating underneath the tree. So for this, of course, that means a tree skirt. And for my tree skirt, I'm actually going to use this piece of upholstery fabric that I found on clearance years ago. So I'm going to use this and then put some empty presents and other things under and around the tree just to dress the bottom up, just like the rest of the tree. Then we'll come back and finish it out. And here is the final product. I'm really excited to finally be able to bring back my peacock tree for my Christmas decor again this year. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe even it sparked some creative juices for you. If so, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. That is such a great way to help support me on my channel and to tell YouTube that they should help other people find my videos as well. Also, I'd love it if you would pop down into the comment section below and tell me hi. I love getting to know other people who share my passion for decorating for the holidays. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a very merry holiday season, and until next time, bye.